मिलितमेन तस्मै कहते मनोविष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगगन रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सगनं ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं सहि कृष्णाकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगद्गत गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि शुभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पाञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यः कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो ओम आज्ञा ओम नारायण नमस्तुभ्यं नारं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जन्मनष्टप्रायश्च भद्रेश नित्यं भावसेत् भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्ट कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Prabhu, how to share from mobile, Prabhu? Share screen and Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. So while googling, I got this sloka, fourth canto, 29th chapter and 59th. Itam Veda Vidam Vadaha Shriyate Tatra Tatra Karmayat Tirayate Prutam Roksham Na Prakasate इति वेदविदां वादः श्रूयते तत्र तत्र कर्म यत् क्रियते प्रोक्तं रोक्षं न प्रकाशते. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, any Prabhujis can read?
I can try, Prabhu. इति वेदविदां वाद श्रूयते तत्र तत्र कर्म यत् क्रियते प्रोक्तं परोक्षं न प्रकाशते.
Any Matajis?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Danvat Pranam.
Danvat Pranam Mataji.
I will try Prabhu. Iti Veda Vidam Vada Shruyate Tatra Tatraha Karam Yatra Kriyate Proktam Proksham Na Prakashate. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Actually this sloka is from Canto 4, the creation of fourth order, and it is between the talks between Narad Muni and King Parachina Barhi. Actually, it is a history of the King Parachabarhi is quite big, and initially I thought let me this gather some detail about it, but it is very quite big, and it was little bit confusing for me also. So then I skipped it. Okay, taking forward word to word, iti thus Veda Vidam of the persons who know the Vedic conclusions, Vadaha this Shriyate is heard, Tatra Tatra here and there has certainly karma the activity yet what Kriyate is performed, Proktam as it was aid. Proksham unknown na prakashate is not directly manifested. Translation purport by Divine A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Vasan Prabhu, translation. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The expert knowers of the Vedic conclusion say that one enjoys or suffers the results of his past activities. But practically, it is seen that the body that performed the work in the last birth is already lost. So how is it possible to enjoy or suffer the reactions of that work in a different body?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Purport, any Matajis?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I?
Dandat Pranam Mataji.
Dandat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Atheists want evidence for the resultant action of past effort. Therefore, they ask, where is the proof that I am suffering and enjoying the resultant action of past karma? They have no idea how the subtle body carries the result of the present body's action down to the next gross body. The present body may be finished grossly, but the subtle body is not finished. It carries the soul to the next body. Actually, the gross body is dependent on the subtle body. Therefore, the next body, therefore, the next body must suffer and enjoy according to the subtle body. The soul is carried by the subtle body continuously until liberated from gross material bondage. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Prabhu.
Thank you, Mother. So when I read the translation, I thought, okay, it is very simple. Actually, this will be known to all of you, but initially I misunderstood that this will be easy for me to uh, discuss and discuss in this forum. But when I read further slokas, it gave me a different aspect of the question. So here the question is, the expert knowers of the Vedic conclusions says that one enjoys or suffers the results of his past activities. But practically it is seen that the body that performed the work in the last birth is already lost. So body is lost, but how the past deeds or the activities done by the person is getting forwarded to the next body. That is, I actually initially I thought it is the karma only, but the we can see the answers as we forward. So the next here we will go only the translation. Now here the Narada Muni is giving the answer for the Maharaj, which he has asked the question in the previous sloka. So Narada Uvacha Yenaivar Vitaye Karma Tenaivamutrana Tat Puman Bhuktehi Avyadhanena Lingena Manasa Swayam. Translation by His English The great sage Narada continued, the living entities acts in a gross body in this life. This body is forced to act by a subtle body composed of mind, intelligence and ego. After the gross body is lost, the subtle body is still there to enjoy or suffer. Thus, there is no change. So here it is very simple, as we saw previous the question, how the body how the past our activities are being forwarded to the new body. So here we are confirmed that we have a body after death, that is it is janma mriti jara vyadi. As there is death, then there is a birth also. So our ultimate goal is to get rid of this birth and death. So here once again it is Narada Muni is answering for the question. The living entity acts in a gross body in this life. This body is forced to act by a subtle body. It is forced. How it is forced? Composed of which carries mind, intelligence and ego. Due to that, this is forced to have another body. So I'm just going through this purport also, because Narada Muni's answer is being elaborated here. Can I request any Prabhuji? Hare Krishna Prabhu. Am I audible?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I will try.
Pranam Prabhu.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. The living entity has two kinds of body, the subtle body and the gross body. Actually, he enjoys through the subtle body, which is composed of mind, intelligence and ego. The gross body is the instrumental outer covering. When the gross body is lost or when it dies, the root of the gross body, the subtle body of the mind, intelligence and ego continues and brings about another gross body. Although the gross body apparently changes, the real root of the gross body is always there. The subtle body's activities, be they pious or impious, create another situation for the living entity to enjoy or suffer in the next gross body. Thus, the subtle body continues, whereas the gross body changes from one after another.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
So here it is clearly Prabhupada has explained that we have two type of bodies. One is gross and the other one is subtle body. So the subtle body needs a gross body to travel, and this gross body while traveling it carries along with it the mind, intelligence, and ego, and which leads to get once again the gross body. So once again we are getting entangled into this material bondage. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, next para Sant Prabhu.
From since modern, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Since modern scientists and philosophers are too materialistic, and since their knowledge is taken away by the illusion energy, they cannot explain how the gross body is changing. The materialistic philosopher Darwin has tried to study the changes of the gross body, but because he had no knowledge of either the subtle body or the soul, he could not clearly explain how the evolutionary process is going on. One may change the gross body, but he works in a subtle body. People cannot understand the activities of the subtle body, and consequently, they are bewildered as to how the actions of one's gross body affect another gross body. The activities of the subtle body are also guided by the super soul, as explained in Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Sarvasvachaham ratisannivisto matar smitir jnanam apohanam cha. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. The meaning of the sloka, Prabhu.
I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So here Prabhupada further explains that how scientists are materialistic, and they could not know the truth behind the subtle body and the gross body, and they concoct with their knowledge, and sometimes they derive with some solution, and it gets they're not the permanent solutions. They give some their ideas and they speculate and they get confused, and this cannot be understood by a non-devotee or a person like atheist, or they cannot accept the concept of two bodies like gross body and material body. So ultimately, sorry, gross body and subtle body depends on gross body to get elevated. Unfortunately, we get entangled into this material uh, due to our association and the activities. So that's what here in Bhagavad Gita in 15.15, Lord Krishna, he himself, he explores Sarvasya cha hridisannivista mata sarvajnanam smriti jnanam apohanam cha. So I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So here, when we say that this mind, intelligence, and ego, when they are traveling along with our subtle body to get a gross body, if we convert our heart, remembrance, and knowledge for the knowledge to Krishna, and we fill those things back, so we can avoid getting entangled into this cycle of birth and death. And further, taking further, Prabhupada explains, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul is always guiding the individual soul, the individual soul always knows how to act according to the reactions of his past karma. In other words, the Super Soul reminds him to act in such a way. Therefore, although there is apparently a change in the gross body, there is a continuation between the lives of an individual soul. So here, yeah, we are getting a gross body. Sorry, we are getting a subtle, from subtle body. We are getting a gross body. The gross body has to face or has to enjoy the happiness or whatever he has gained in the previous life, and these both the things are being approved by Supreme Personality of God, who is sitting on our heart as a super soul. He is a watchdog. He is looking into us, our activities, and he is our we can say he is approver for all those things. And based on our act and our decision, his approval is there. So Prabhu, I think these things all of you may be knowing well, but for my uh, uh, for my for my clarification and understanding, I have just selected these topics and I'm going forward. And I mean, further, I have taken only the uh, uh, translation of the slokas, which gives some, which are self-explanatory, and they are clarifying the. Because when I started the sloka, okay, I thought how we are getting a new body. Okay, it is based on our karma of our. So we will be getting, but the answers are little bit different. So I just thought taking. I will clarify this with these translations. In the translation 61, the living entity while dreaming gives up the actual living body. Though the activities of his mind and intelligence, he acts in another body, either as a god or a dog. After giving up the gross body, the living entity enters either an animal body or a demigod's body on the planet or on another planet. He thus enjoys the results of the actions of his past life. So here in the further, Narad Muni is explaining that how the living entity gives up the changing of the body in while they are dreaming. It is very clear. Though it is a mind act, he acts as another body, and and after giving up the body, they are entering into the animal body. But that is based on their knowledge or activities what they gain in the current in the previous body. Further, in 60 text 62, the living entity labors under the bodily concept of I am this and I am that. My duty is this and therefore I shall do this. These are all mental impressions, and all these activities are temporary. Nonetheless, by the grace of the Supreme Personality, the living entity gets a chance to execute all his mental concoctions. Thus, he gets another body. So here, once again, it is as clearly said, based on our false ego and our knowledge, and we think once a person getting into a thinking that he is I am the one and I can. These all happens when they are into materially bonded, and who the person who do not believe in God, they believe themselves. And we can say it is like in one of the mm, gunas, passion. So the person with passion, he will be having such kind of thinking, and he will be forgetting God, and which leads him to take birth again in the material world, and either he will suffer or enjoy. That is based on his deeds. uh, Mataji, can anyone read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Danut Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. 63 text. One can understand the mental or conscious position of a living entity by the activities of two kinds of senses, the knowledge acquiring senses and the executive senses. Similarly, by the mental condition or consciousness of a person, one can understand his position in the previous life. Should I go on, Prabhu?
No, Mataji, this is okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Mataji.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
So here it is once again how the uh, how the activities has been identified. One can understand the mental or conscious position of a living entity by the activities of two kinds of senses, the knowledge and acquiring senses and the executive senses. Similarly, the mental condition or conscious of a person one can understand this position in this previous life. So I think this is clear to everyone. And in 64, sometimes we suddenly experience something that we never experienced in the present body by sight or hearing. Sometimes we see such things suddenly in dreams. Yes, this happens many times with me, that I don't know what I was before, and I could. I think this might have happened with anybody also. So in the dream, we will be thinking, or when we go to some place, we will be having an experience that we have visited this place already, or something has happened in those places, or something like that. We may be experiencing. Uh, Sant Prabhu, can you read? Is it possible for you to read, Prabhu? 65.
Yes, sure, Prabhu. Therefore, my dear king, the living entity who has a subtle mental covering
Hare
develops.
Krishna. Venkat Prabhu said Sadhu Prabhu.
Sadhu Prabhu. Sant Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Was it Shant Prabhu or Sadhu Prabhu?
Sant Prabhu.
Sant Prabhu. Sorry.
It was for me, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, sir.
Okay. Therefore, my dear king, the living entity who has a subtle mental covering develops all kind of thoughts and images because of his previous body. Take this from me as certain. There is no possibility of concocting anything mentally without having perceived it in the previous body. Haribol Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here, therefore, my dear king. So Narad Muni is explained to the king, saying that about the same thing. The living entity who has a subtle mental covering develops all kinds of thoughts and images. So as a person, when he is in a gross body, he is grasping, or he is with his experience, he is recording, we can say, he is recording the things in his mind, and which becomes a covering for the subtle mind, so that he forgets his relationship with the supreme personality of Godhead, and this is being stored in his subtle mind, sorry, in his gross mind, and this is being taken, that is being transferred while he is changing his body. Take this take this from me as certain. There is no possibility of concocting anything mentally without having pursued in it. So without seeing or without experiencing, they may not be knowing this. So okay, then text 66. O king, all good fortune unto you. The mind is the cause of living entity. Here, it is entirely the different answer which I got here. Here, Narad Muni is breaking the answer, breaking the secret of the question, answer to the question. Attaining a certain type of a body is accordance with his association with material nature. According to one's mental composition, one can understand what the living entity was in his past life, as well as what kind of body he will have in the future. Thus, the mind indicates the past and future bodies. So, here the entire answer for the question is being revealed by Narad Muni, saying that the mind is the cause of entire thing. So, here we need to look into our mind, how we teach him, train him, and what kind of association we need to give to him. As in Bhagavad Gita, as Arjuna says, it is very tough to control the mind for him in those yugas, and with his kind of with this, less uh, what we can say, material, they too had material attachments, but not like the attachments today we have, like TV, movies, distractions, mobile, everything, and association with the society where the people are behaving like atheist, and people don't follow the rules and regulations as described in shastras. So all those things are getting uh, into our mind, and we should be very strong enough to fight with them, and mm, keep our mind very clear, and our to reach our goal, go back home, back to Godhead. So here, according to one's mental composition, one can understand what the living entity. So these once again, that is the Narduni is saying that mind, my the past life, based on the past life experience, and whatever he gained or imagined in his mind, it is getting reflected in his future body. Sadhu Prabhu, Prabhu, will you be able to read this, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, from where are you, Prabhu?
67, Prabhu.
Okay. Sometimes in a dream, we see something never experienced or heard of in the life, but all these incidents have been experienced at different times, in different places, and in different conditions.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this also many of us might have experienced in the dream. We might be seeing something, or sometimes we might have seen an unknown person or something like that, and this different places, or we may be feeling that we might have not seen those, or they are new to us. In the next text, the mind of the living entity continues to exist in various gross bodies. And according to one's desire of sense gratification, the mind records different thoughts. In the mind, these appear together in different combination. Therefore, these images sometimes appear as things never seen or never heard before. So here, mind as a gross body, and gross body travels various body. We may not be knowing how many lives, how many bodies we have entered and final, and now we are in this human body, or we might have traveled in previous human body also. So all these activities are getting recorded, and they are getting revealed during dreams, not in daytime. So during dreams, we may be seeing different things, different places. We may be feeling ourselves we are in different places, and this all happens due to our previous experience, which were recorded in our mind. Preeta Mataji, 69. Preeta Mataji, Saval Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Dandat Pranam Mataji.
69 Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Krishna consciousness means constantly associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in such a mental state that the devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does. Such observation is not always possible, but it becomes manifest exactly like the dark planet known as Rahu, which is observed in the presence of the full moon. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So that's what as Narad Muni given answer for the cause of getting new body is mind. So we need to keep our mind to reach our goal, not to get another body and suffer into this mental activity. How we can keep our mind, how we should, what we should practice to keep our mind, or what we need to keep in our mind. So that is, the ultimate answer is Krishna. So Krishna consciousness is the only the means where we can we get a chance or an opportunity to go back to Godhead. So Krishna, that's the Prabhupada, sorry, in the translation, Narmani has explained clearly that Krishna consciousness is constantly associating with Supreme Personality of Godhead in such a mental state that the devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does. So this is what we need to do by practicing Krishna consciousness. We need to keep our mind to Lord Krishna. And in text 70, as long as there exists the subtle material body composed of intelligence, mind, senses, sense objects, and the reactions of the material qualities, the consciousness of false identification and its relative objective, the gross body exists as well. So this is the reason why the gross body is getting again and again this birth and death, and the subtle body is traveling from one body to another. So this is based due to the gross body, which is this gross body is getting a, sorry, the subtle body which is having this intelligence, mind, senses, and sense objects. Due to this, we are getting this gross body. When these intelligence, mind, senses are purified and getting connected to Krishna, then we will be out of this cycle of birth and death. When the living entity is in deep sleep, when he faints, when there is some great shock, an account of severe loss at the time of death, or when the body temperature is very high, the movement of the life air is arrested. At that time, the living entity loses knowledge of identifying the body with the self. So this is very clear and it is self-explanatory also. So when a person, we can say when he is in leaves, that is when he dies, he will not be having any relation with that gross body. So subtle body leaves the body with all his memories, intelligence, everything, and it is moving to the next body based on his deeds and memories, whatever he thinks at the time of death. Prabhu, any Prabhuji's Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Text 72. When one is a youth, all the 10 senses and the mind are completely visible. However, in the mother's womb or in the boyhood state, the sense organs and the mind remain covered, just as the full moon is covered by the darkness of the dark moon night. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, next is also Prabhu.
Yeah, 73. When the living entity dreams, the sense objects are not actually present. However, because one has associated with the sense objects, they become manifest. Similarly, the living entity with undeveloped senses does not cease to exist materially, even though he may not be exactly in contact with the sense objects.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So here senses. Here Narad Muni explains about the senses also. How these senses were inactive when the kid is in the womb of a mother, and how they are getting entangled into the things when they come out and getting associated with the sense objects and this material life, and when he start thinking this is mine, this is for me, I need to enjoy, and all those things. Mataji's next to 74.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Text 74. The five sense object, the five sense organs, the five knowledge acquiring senses, and the mind are the 16 material expansions. These combine with the living entity and are influenced by the three modes of material nature: Thus, the existence of the conditioned soul is understood. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So with these, with the current sloka, we can we can give many days class, because this sloka carries the entire philosophy of soul and mind, body, and how we can how one can know about the soul and everything. So I'm not entering into the much philosophy, because I'm very weak in that. Just taking all, I'm just discussing all above only from the translations, from the outline. The five sense objects, yes, everyone knows the five sense objects and five knowledge acquiring senses, mind in, and the putting together it becomes the soul. The virtue of the process of the subtle body, the living entity develops and gives up gross bodies. This is known as the transmigration of the soul. Thus, the soul becomes subjected to different types of so-called enjoyment, lamentation, fear, happiness, and unhappiness. So, this is the problem when we are when the subtle body getting enters into the gross body. The gross body start feeling, or we can say it is suffering, uh, since one feels that it is me and mine, automatically all the problems comes like fear, happiness, lamentation, enjoyment, unhappiness occurs. So this is all happening when a subtle body is getting into a gross body. And Narmani has given further example. The caterpillar transports itself from one leaf to another by capturing one leaf before giving up the other. Similarly, according to his previous work, the living entity must capture another body before giving up one he has. This is because the mind is the reservoir of all kinds of desires. So, I don't want next body. Narad Muni has given here, saying here caterpillar example, that it is getting it is getting capturing another leaf, like give before giving up another. So this mind is a big culprit which is making us to get another body, which is deciding. So we need to keep our mind, or we need to make our mind to prevent getting another gross body. As long as we desire to enjoy sense gratification, we create material activities. When the living entity acts in the material field, he enjoys the senses, and while enjoying the senses, he creates another series of material activity. In this way, the living entity becomes entrapped as a conditioned soul. Yes, it is very clear, and puncture. Sorry, it is punch mark given by the Narad. Yes, once a person, once a soul entering a gross body, he is getting connected to this material world, and he start looking into the things, and he wants to enjoy, thinking that everything is for him, everything is for me, I'm the enjoyer. When these kind of thoughts comes, and when he start working to enjoy his senses, all once again the mind is getting uh, corrected. The mind is getting feeded with the in his own programs. So once again it is leading to a problem, janma mrityu jara vyadhi. You should always know that this cosmic manifestation is, so we need, here Narmani says that you should always know that the cosmic manifestations created, maintained, annihilated by the will of the Supreme Person of the Conqueror. Consequently, everything within the cosmic manifestation under the control of the Lord. To be enlightened by this perfect knowledge, one should always engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord. So that's what, instead of when a person, when a soul comes to know that he is nothing, and everything done by a supreme power, ultimate power, who is above him is Supreme Personality of God. When he realizes this, then he will start thinking about him. He will start building relation about him, and he will start the devotion. He will start initially. He will have a question: who is he? How he is here? What he has to do? When these questions arises in his mind, ultimately he will have an answer to question someone who knows this. So from he from we can say the person who knows this should be also learned from a spiritual master or like a parampara system, and he will starting a devotional life where he can engage his mind, mainly engage his mind to remain in Krishna consciousness and to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is the conclusion what here Narad Muni is giving to the question raised by the Maharaj. The mind is the ultimate cause for getting a subtle body, sorry, gross body, and making subtle body getting entangled to this gross body in repeated birth and death. So we need to keep our mind in a way so that we will not get this gross body again, and we can go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna Prabhu. All glory Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. प्रभु आई थिंक आई हैव कंप्लीटेड बिफोर टाइम. मेरे पास इतना ही सामान है प्रभु.
हरि बोल, हरि बोल. Prabhu, you are completed on time. Jai Ho, Prabhu. Very nice, Prabhu. And wonderful choice of topic, Prabhu. Very nicely explained. Hari Bol. Jai, Jai. So we will just request devotees to share their thoughts on this, their comments, their feedback. We can start with Tandvini Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, are you there? Hare Krishna Tandvini Mataji. So, Himanshu Prabhu, would you like to share your thoughts?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just need to leave, Prabhu. Can I start now?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu.
Okay, sorry, Prabhu. Like because there is one another seva, just like we need to distribute some prizes. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. Like a very nice kirtan, and your questions were to Venkat Prabhu also. Like it was very nice. Venkat Prabhu, like a amazing class, Prabhu. You prepared very nicely, and you covered the Prashnabari. Whatever Narada Muni is teaching to Prashnabari, like it was very nicely covered, and the subtle body and the subtle mind, gross body, everything, like you covered it very nicely. So recently I heard in one lecture, like it always starts with our mind only. Whatever thing we are into this illusion, like the network of illusions, all starts with our mind. So there was one nice quote also. So it always like the relationship with mind and matter. So if you don't mind, then it doesn't matter. Like so, we need to mind only to the things which is helping, which is going to help us in devotion service, and all the material things. Like we need to be very careful. It is not getting occupied, so that like we will not get the next gross body. So very nicely you covered, Prabhu. Amazing thing. Wonderful, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, I just read the translations written by Prabhupada. I didn't get into his purports because it is beyond my memory power, Prabhu. I just
no problem. To read Srila Prabhupada's purport also, like you read the qualification. So
with all devotees mercy only, without your association, nothing goes forward, Prabhu.
Yeah, very nice, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
So Preeta will join late, Prabhu. Like she's just busy in something, so you can go around with other devotees. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Vasant Prabhu. Jai. Can I request Himanshu Prabhu?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for the opportunity. First, my sincere apologies. I missed your Kirtan. Thank you for hosting this wonderful session. And Venkat Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam to you again and again. Today I felt like just how the natural flow of a devotee who is telling something and also enjoying himself. And I really liked it. And also the traditional style where you picked up the verses from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and then you focused on the translation and the purport. So nice. And the topic itself, you know, a lot of people say that there is no rebirth, and whatever life we have, we should just enjoy. But then they are not able to explain that, you know, how somebody is having a particular body or particular role in life. How is somebody a king? How is somebody, you know, suffering? How is somebody born in one country, in another country, another part of the world? So for us on the devotional path, on the spiritual path, this is very clear, and we don't have this confusion. And we know that Lord Krishna himself, when he is speaking to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, in his opening comments, emphasizes a lot on this understanding. And as you rightly explained, it's all about the mind, intelligence, and ego. Lord Krishna also tells us that the senses are better than the material thing, and then the mind is above the senses, and intelligence is even above, and then at the top is the soul. However, most of us live unintelligently. We are not able to apply our intelligence to, you know, control the mind, and that's where we continue to do all these actions, and we are too much driven by our egos in every aspect of life, and that is causing all these kind of reactions, and this cycle just continues. And that's why the intelligent people, the liberated people, they have set the path that if you are constantly chanting, taking the Lord's name, and having a good association, then naturally we will apply more intelligence, our mind and activities will be better controlled, and this will lead to a natural upgradation. So the example is given that we could be in a Dev's body or we could be in a dog's body. So that is the clear message to us. So Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks a lot. Actually, I thought many topics to discuss since it is the first time for me with a little bit struggle.
No,
Struggling.
Prabhuji,
I missed many things.
whatever you are saying is all coming from your heart, and your innocence and truth is the thing that matters so much. So you've done a wonderful job, Prabhuji.
Thanks a lot, Prabhu. But all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you for your comments, Prabhuji.
Very well. Thank you, Himanshu Prabhu, for your thoughts, for your feedback. Can I request Mamta Mataji to share her thoughts, feedback, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu, sorry, I missed your Kirtan. I joined a little late. Once again, we have the facility of recording. So I'll go through with the Kartal rhythm, which I always relish, and I missed it. Coming forward to Venkat Prabhu. Yes, listen you first time, and it is, you know, as it is, you know, Bhagavad Gita as it is. I was listening through you as it is, Prabhu. It was all natural, and the topic which you have chose, that is the ultimate, that is the conclusion, sar of all the Vedas. So you didn't leave anything actually. And the all verses, the text which you summarized, you collaborated together. It is all for making us understand. And thank you for reminding us that, you know, whatever the activities or charities, good deeds, whatever we are doing, but if we are not controlling the mind and if we are not surrendered to the Lord, then it is all fail. So thank you for reminding. I don't have much to say. You have said everything altogether, Prabhu. All I can say, my sincere Dandvat, and thank you once again for reminding us all that what is the sar of this life. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandvat Pranam.
थैंक यू माता जी। मैंने इतना बोला क्या मुझे भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा, बट यू हैव ग्रास्प्ड मेनी थिंग्स। थैंक्स अ लॉट फॉर दैट माता जी। धन्यवाद प्रणाम माता जी।
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing your thoughts. May I request Sadhu Prabhu to share his thoughts? Hare Krishna, Sadhu Prabhu, Ati Sundari Mataji. Tandwini Mataji, are you around? Okay, Preeta Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandvat Pranam.
Mataji, would you be able to share your thoughts now?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Please, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the blissful and beautiful Kirtan, and wonderfully hosted the session, Prabhu. Really like that rapid fire round. And once again, thank you so much, Prabhuji. And coming to Venkat Prabhuji, amazing Prabhu, Kalaki Tenga, super irundhuchu. So though we had many spiritual discussions so many times, Prabhu, but this is the first time we are hearing from you full-fledgedly. So a full class, this is the first time, Prabhu. So very nicely portrayed like how mind is the cause of acquiring new body based on our past life reactions and the material subtle body material desires. So and how we have to perform the activities, channelizing it to Krishna just by focusing, as it is given in the 12th chapter, like fix the mind and intelligence on me rather than concentrating on the worldly activities. So very nicely explained, Prabhu. Haribol. And a few days back, I was listening to one lecture. So there was a nice analogy given. So they compared the one briefcase, which is compared to like 24 hours time factor. And there are small and big pebbles. So big pebbles are compared to bhakti, and the small pebbles were compared to worldly activities. So one who is using his mind and intelligence in a proper way, so if he is an intelligent person, then first he will fill that briefcase with the big pebbles, and wherever the space in between, he will put the remaining small pebbles where it could where the small pebbles could fit into. So likewise, if we are using our intelligence and mind in a proper way, we could deviate ourselves from this material activities and concentrate on Krishna or the devotional aspect. But not using this intelligence in a proper way, like we consider the worldly activities as a big rock and fill the suitcase with that. So we are not prioritizing our job, and we are not understanding the Krishna in a better manner. So just by making Krishna as a priority in our mind and act like offering all the activities to Krishna, like we can just be able to surrender unto him and serve him with full-mindedness. So many thanks, Prabhuji, for wonderful session. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dana Pranam Mataji. Thanks a lot, Mataji. Mataji, this is first for me also to speak about speak in a forum where all senior devotees are there and knowledgeable people are also there. So really, I had, I was trembling, but I think I have covered the things. I think Prabhupada is not should be happy. I don't want to make him down because I spoke all his words only. So thanks a lot for and really this association is teaching me many things. And with this family association, initially I learned to even doing achaman and everything. I remember those days when we started learning this. So really, with all this with this family association, I'm progressing. I have a feel that I'm progressing. Thanks a lot for your Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Haribol, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your comments. Is Tandwini Mataji back? Sandini Mataji, Sadhu Prabhu. I see Sadhu Prabhu has disconnected. Tandwini Mataji. Okay. Pooja, would you like to share your thoughts? Hare Krishna, Pooja.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu, for your wonderful kirtan. Amazing kirtan, actually. I really enjoyed it. And then coming to Venkat Prabhuji, very good class, Prabhuji. Very nicely covered, and especially this subtle part of the subtle philosophy is also, I was just while listening to your class, I understood like there are so many subtle things we just ignore because we just know it. It should be discussed in detail so that we not only we remember it again and again. Very nice class, Prabhuji, as all Matajis and Prabhujis said. Your innocence and honesty added a charm to it. Very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji. To like, if there is a takeaway from me from your class is like mind, intelligence, and ego is being carried away from one body to another, just like a it's very subtle, and then all we have to concentrate is taming the mind, because mind is the one which is giving us the body, which is the reason for the body we have. And it's actually while learning these things, I understand. While in your class, I always understood one. It reminded one. It was a reminder for me that if, like, after several good karmas or anything like good blessings or something, have got this human body. My mind has been given to this human body. If I waste it without doing any devotional service, it is like it has been like using the best instrument for the least utility. Thank you, Prabhuji, for this wonderful class. Very nice book. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Purna Premai, Gopi Devidasi. Thank you very much for sharing your feedback. I see Tandwini Mataji had raised her hand. Mataji, are you back? Hare Krishna, Tandwini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji and Mataji. Sorry, actually, I think I don't know how the hand got raised. But please continue.
So we are sharing feedback. Do you want to share? We are almost done.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't there in the beginning of the class, and I did, I was there only for some time, so I didn't get to hear the real nectar or grasp this thing. but then I will just look at the presentation again and I'll share my full feedback. But I'm really happy that today, and I mean, unfortunate that I missed Venkat Prabhu's first presentation. I'm really sorry about that. But I will see it and I will share the feedback on the group. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Sadhu Prabhu had connected. He dropped back again. So let's see. Let's hope if he connects back. Till that time, let me share my thoughts, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, you during this rapid fire, I asked you philosophy of Krishna Katha, and you said you don't prefer philosophy, but you love kathas. But even having understood your preferences, you choose the philosophy today. I mean, this was really a nice attempt, Prabhu. I mean,
This is due to Google Baba, Prabhu, because I thought I want to select a random thing, so I went to Google to select random numbers. So I got this logo, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, but you continued with it, and you still took up that topic of which was actually philosophical, and it is very deep, Prabhu. I especially liked 2 points. One was wherein we have this caterpillar example by Narad Muni. So as he says, caterpillar first holds on to a leaf before leaving the previous leaf. So which was something interesting for me. So we as soul, in a subtle body, we actually first kind of create a concept, or we actually hold on to our new body before we leave this body. So which is something really interesting, which means this actually explains when Acharyas say, Prabhupada says that we are actually preparing our next body in this body.
Yes,
so this was very interesting point. And also the other verse which I found interesting was in deep sleep, including death, and in deep sleep and death and other places when we are unconscious and all. But in deep sleep as well, we lose the knowledge of this body. So which was really interesting. Probably that may explain some experiences that are shared by people, where they say that even in deep sleep they have experienced OOB, out of body. They had this out of body experience. So probably this verse explains that. Sorry, Bol Prabhu, nice choice of topic, and appreciate your attempt to actually overcome your fear of philosophy. I mean, I know you are really good with it, but as per what you said, but yes, Prabhu, nice attempt, wonderful topic, Prabhu, nicely explained. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Prabhu. Really, this is first time for me, even speaking before others. That too, making a presentation and presenting it over the forum. It is a first time for me. I had fear that I should not say any wrong thing, and I should not concoct my my views into that. I think I have not done that, or I should. Yeah, yes, Prabhu. That's the fear I had. Thank you, Prabhu.
We should have this fear, Prabhu. This fear is real required for our to not deviate from our Acharya's teaching.
Acharyas, yes.
Hari Bol, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So I see Sadhu Prabhu joining back. Prabhu, would you able to share your thoughts, your comments? Sadhu Prabhu ki jai.
Hari Bol, Sadhu Prabhu ki jai.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, are you able to hear me?
We are able to hear you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. So, thanks a lot, Prabhuji, for your nice kirtan after a long time, and I really enjoyed that. And then Venkat Prabhuji, very, very, very bold to you. Today's topic that you covered was in a very, 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 very appropriate for you, Prabhu, because of the many reasons. One is like because it is related to mind, Prabhu, and in Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Man mana bhava mad bhakto." So Krishna does not ask us for giving our eyes, leg, hand. He is asking for mind, right? Because because one who is controlling all the senses. Poor senses, okay? I mean, they're not that poor, but still poor because they are getting driven because of the demands of the mind. So if mind is controlled, it's like a driver, right? So your mind is like a steering, I mean, I will say. Or then all your remaining parts of the vehicle are also controlled immediately. So one good way of controlling the mind is, Prabhu, is the service. Because the moment we give mind some room, it takes over and then it drives the show to the direction that it wants. So this is one reason the boy told, like, it is very appropriate, I mean, topic that you chose, because you are always involved into service. So when service is there, we I just want to share for the benefit of all that I got the chance to visit one of the ashram. They're like they're not a ISKCON, but it is like in Vrindavan, one of the most famous temple is Bhakti Bihari Temple. So people come from different parts of India and like Tribani, and then they go back. So for them, Bhakti Bihari is Vrindavan. So and there is a big set of people. So this Bhakti Bihari temple is set up by another Haridas, and in their ashram I got the chance to visit. So what they said is like their Guru Maharaj is always continuously keeping them busy into service, because they're 24/7 into that ashram, and they don't go out. Okay. Their Maharaj has never crossed the boundary of that the boundary wall of that ashram for last 8 years. He's there inside all the times, and the beauty of that is like they don't use any of the modern equipment. Like there is no light, there are no fans, there are mobiles strictly not allowed. They are strictly into everything natural. It's a small ashram, so the thing that I liked from them was like every single person from morning till evening, they hardly get the time to do their chanting. I mean, they complete their chanting, of course, but the prime instruction to them is like the service, and they're totally absorbed into that. Okay. So even the version of the deities, they are also in the lamp. That oil child. So service is one good way to remain entangled. Because see, service is the key, right, Prabhu? We are always serving, whether outside to the world or to the inside to the Lord. So there is no choice from other than running from the service, right? So service you have to do to whom we are serving. There is a question. So if we serve the Lord, mind will not get room to think about other things. Right? Exactly in the same way that we have been keeping our mind entangled into material things, and hence it is not getting the time to think about it. We have to just reciprocate. I mean, just reverse the same. So, and Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, as we always know, like that, he tells that beat your mind with the broomstick in the evening and with the chapel in the morning, because as Puja Mataji was telling, like see, after so many works, after so much of pain, struggle, we hardly get the body of human, and then this mind, because of something which is not very chemical, we have experienced it. So many things look so attractive to us. The moment we receive them, they don't look so much attractive. So we are getting fooled by mind. So if you just reverse the word, I mean, it resembles to demon. But if we like, that's why ulta mind is like demon. MIND. So you have to just keep it straight, and then I like that one you fought also. That if you don't mind, then there is no problem. That's it. Thank you. Very interesting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for your comments, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing your thoughts. Is there anyone who wants to share something before we close for the day? Jai.
Prabhu, recording.
Yeah.